Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're going to begin our look at the new Hasbro Jurassic World Growler assortment dinosaurs from Wave 2. First one up is going to be Ceratosaurus. I purchased this dinosaur for $14.99 from HasbroToyShop.com. Haven't yet seen it at retail. And the other one that I purchased was the Dilophosaurus, also from the Growler assortment. I wanted to get these both reviewed together. However, unfortunately, I did notice that the little projectile that's supposed to come in here, the one, I guess you put it into his mouth and he fires it, is missing, unfortunately. So I'm really bummed out about that. I guess I'm going to go ahead and hold off on reviewing this until I get it. I have already emailed Hasbro Toy Shop, so hopefully that comes in very soon here. Otherwise, if you really want to see this, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see about getting a video of it before. But I'd really like to get that part before doing any kind of official review on it. So the packaging here, as you can see, is the same as we have seen with most of the Jurassic World lineup. Back of the packaging gives us a look there at the Ceratosaurus figure. Basically, it just says he has chomping jaws, and the description says a ferocious fight for survival. I don't know that Ceratosaurus is going to be appearing in Jurassic World. I assume it is possible, but who knows. It was in Jurassic World 3 quite briefly. All right, and of course, as this is a Growler assortment dinosaur, it is electronic. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. It looks like it does have 2 alkaline batteries that are already installed. So let me go ahead and get Ceratosaurus out of the packaging. We'll take a closer look and see just how well he stacks up. Alright you guys, and here's our Ceratosaurus out of the packaging. All in all, it's really not too bad. Wasn't quite sure what to be expecting with this one, because from some photos online, he looked okay, and from others, he didn't look that great. So, fortunately, the figure itself does look pretty good. He does have a very lizard-like quality to him, or maybe I should be saying her. I'm not too sure what the pronouns here should be, at least until we see Jurassic World very soon here. Very excited for it coming out next week. But the figure, is posed pretty well. Nothing too crazy or extreme here like what we saw with Velociraptor Blue. I mean, this is, fairly neutral. It's kind of just walking along. Here's a look from the other side. You do get the screw holes here, which, unfortunately are a huge part of the Jurassic World line of toys. So that's not too unexpected. Luckily you can only see them from this one side. I think the other side definitely looks better. So, in that case, it's not horrendous. It's still preferable if they wouldn't have done that. You also get the weird, speaker holes on that side right there on his right, on the chest area. I'm not quite sure why they did that. I mean, the Velociraptor Blue, I don't believe, had that. It doesn't look that great. I don't know that was absolutely necessary. And if it was, maybe they could have put it underneath the figure somewhere. So that's a little bit questionable. And the coloring, all in all, it's okay. At least, we have a little bit of diversity in there. There's some red and some dark brownish black, and then what I might describe as a lemon meringue, cream kind of color. All in all, the coloring isn't too bad. Give you a close-up here of the head. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad. I don't think it looks, all that realistic, but, it's definitely... definitely could have been worse. The eye looks a little bit large to me. That kind of comes across as not being that realistic, but, there's a little bit of paint in there, just a little bit of yellow and black and some white dots. The rest of the head, is pretty detailed, as is the rest of the body. There's plenty of creasing and, wrinkling and scaling and so forth, so that looks pretty good. The teeth, you can't really see a distinction between teeth. It's all kind of just one big thing, I don't know. I don't really like that. I wish they would have separated the teeth. Inside of the mouth has a little bit of detail. You can see the tongue right there. Roof of the mouth, there's not really any detail on that other than plastic. And it kind of has this little stoppage right there. So, all in all, ain't too bad. He's got the horn on his head, as Ceratosaurs do. So I mean, all in all, it's an okay looking head. I don't think it's as good as the Velociraptor, but it's passable, I suppose. You do get Dino Damage on this one. It is pretty gruesome. There's a lot of, like ribs. I guess that'd be muscle. I'm not a huge fan of Dino Damage, especially when it's this obvious, but, that goes back to the Kenner days, so I guess it's not too surprising they're still doing it. And then, the legs look pretty nice. I like the sculpt work that they put into them. The feet, nice and pretty sturdy. It's got the Jurassic World insignia right there. Little arms. They're pretty small, but, they did articulate them, and you can see that they painted the 4 fingers. And then, the tail. Tail's pretty good. Nice sculpting and detailing. You can see, like, the musculature underneath. The coloring is pretty good. In Jurassic Park 3, he did kind of look, kind of reddish, so, they carried that through to this toy, which is pretty neat. But, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, maybe if they would have blended the reds and the blacks a little bit more. The coloring kind of stops, like, a third of the way up the tail. I'm not quite sure why they didn't carry it down all the way through. It's a little bit disappointing. Then underneath, of course, he's that cream color, so... all in all, nice sculpting. That's where the battery is in there. All in all, it's not too bad. And there's all that good information that they had to put on the side of the tail rather than underneath it for reasons unknown. But yeah, that's the sculpt for you. You can also move the legs. They go forward pretty fluidly, but they don't really go back. It's a little bit tighter of a fit to get them back. Now, he does seem to me like it would be a little bit top heavy, but I mean, it seems like the legs are sturdy enough to where it doesn't seem like it's going to fall. It seems like he's, they're supporting its weight pretty well, but there's definitely a lot more weight up here in the front. But luckily they give him a pose that allows him to stand without any balancing issues. Okay, so there's 2 action features here, just like what we saw with the Velociraptor Blue. Like with the Velociraptor Blue, they pretty much are operated the same way. So for the first one, you basically just press his Dino Damage. It lights up for some asinine reason, and then, he gives that a growl. Now the other one, you simply pull the tail down. You can see he closes his mouth for just a second. Then when you release, he lets out a roar, and... but he doesn't close the mouth back up as you might expect once he finishes roaring. Either way, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's a pretty fluid motion. I'm not quite sure what that little sound effect there is at the very end. Just like a boom, like he stomped or he fell or I don't know what. He broke through some bones with his jaws. But it is pretty cool that they give him an articulated jaw. That way you can see it opening when you pull down the tail. I think that's pretty neat and always cool when dinosaurs have articulated jaws, I think. Give you a comparison here of Ceratosaurus with Velociraptor Blue. Now, of course, these are not to scale. Unfortunately, most of the Jurassic World dinosaurs are not within scale within each other, not in the Bashers and Biters assortment, and not in the Growler assortment. And, Ceratosaurus at its full adult age would have been quite a bit bigger than Velociraptor. So yeah, I mean, you can see they're pretty much about the same size. Much different builds, but more or less around the same size. All right, you guys, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Jurassic World Growler assortment, Ceratosaurus. All in all, it's not a bad figure. In fact, it should be about what you might expect for the Hasbro Jurassic World lineup. It's a pretty good toy. It seems to stand pretty well. The detail on it is pretty good. The coloring on it is pretty decent. He has 2 nice action features that seem to work quite well. And although I think the Velociraptor Blue was a better dinosaur figure, I am pretty pleased to have this one in my collection. It's not quite that realistic, and I think they could have certainly done a better job with it. The little holes there along the side and the screw holes, and then the little CE information is a little bit just kind of misplaced. I don't know why they did they took the approaches they did, other than maybe just shortcutting it or who knows what. So, I mean, it's certainly not perfect. For $15, I guess it's an okay value. I kind of feel that maybe like the $12 price point would be a little bit more fair, but, toys are just kind of all over the place today. When you consider that 3 3/4 inch Star Wars Black Series figures cost $13, that kind of makes this seem like a good deal at $15. So all in all, it's not bad. If you're picking and choosing with the Jurassic World Growlers assortment, I think the Velociraptor is a better effort, but, the Ceratosaurus is still pretty good. All right, you guys, that'll do it for this episode. Now stay tuned because we will be continuing our look at the Jurassic World dinosaur lineup. Thanks for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.